Imagine beginning each day with a clear and unwavering sense of purpose, undisturbed by setbacks, unshaken by surrounding chaos, and relentlessly focused on what truly matters. This may sound almost superhuman, yet it was the daily reality of one of history's most powerful figures, Marcus Aurelius, a Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher. His personal writings, a collection that has survived for millennia, are not merely reflections from a distant past, but strikingly relevant guidance on how to harness the power of self-discipline amid the noise of modern life. Today, we delve into the core of Stoicism, examining its principles not as abstract ideas, but as practical tools for living a more disciplined and fulfilling existence. Stoicism teaches us to transform adversity into advantage, emotional turmoil into tranquility, and life's unpredictability into a source of strength. Whether you are grappling with daily stress, seeking inner peace, or striving to enhance your productivity, understanding the Stoic way of life offers profound insights. In a world saturated with distractions and instant gratification, Stoic philosophy grounds us in the virtues of wisdom, courage, justice, and moderation. It is not merely about enduring life, but thriving within it, no matter what challenges arise. Quotes. If you are ready to transform how you perceive and handle life's difficulties, stay with us as we unpack the powerful teachings of Marcus Aurelius and explore how they can be applied to cultivate a resilient and disciplined life today. As we embark on this journey through Stoic philosophy and the profound insights of Marcus Aurelius, if you value what we are exploring here, I simply ask that you consider subscribing. Also, do not skip any part of this content, because if you are here, you are unlike most. Consider yourself an exception and stay for the unique knowledge we will uncover together. At the heart of Marcus Aurelius's philosophy is the belief that self-discipline begins with discovering your purpose. But what does it truly mean to find your purpose? It is about uncovering what matters most to you, what drives you at your core, and aligning your daily actions with that deeper calling. Marcus Aurelius often wrote about living in accordance with nature, which in Stoic terms means understanding your role within the broader scheme of things and acting in harmony with your virtues. For Aurelius, purpose was not a lofty ideal, but a practical compass guiding every decision, from the most mundane to the most monumental. He believed that understanding your purpose is what gets you out of bed each morning, ready to face the day's challenges, and what keeps you steadfast when temptations lure you off course. It is not about grand achievements or external recognition, but about fulfilling the duties life has entrusted to you, carrying out each task with dedication and integrity. In a modern context, finding your purpose can feel overwhelming. We live in a world saturated with choices and distractions that can pull us away from our true paths. This is where Stoic wisdom becomes not only useful, but essential. Stoicism teaches us to peel away the layers of superficial desires and fleeting emotions to reveal what is truly essential for our well-being and growth. It encourages us to ask, what is truly worth investing my time and energy in? How can my actions today contribute to the greater good and my personal development? As we explore how to apply this principle in our lives, consider what naturally draws you in, where you find deep satisfaction, or which challenges motivate you to find solutions. These are clues to your purpose. Once identified, the Stoic practice of daily reflection becomes invaluable. By continually aligning your actions with your purpose, saying no to what does not serve you and yes to what does, you cultivate the self-discipline necessary to live a meaningful and impactful life. Apply this insight from Marcus Aurelius each day. Begin your morning by considering, what must I accomplish today? End your evening by reflecting, did I stay true to my intended path? Over time, this daily habit will not only build self-discipline, but also turn your life into a more purposeful and fulfilling journey. When Marcus Aurelius wrote about self-discipline, a common thread was the significance of relying on oneself. This concept goes beyond mere self-sufficiency. It is a core part of Stoic philosophy, which highlights personal responsibility and independence. It is not about isolation or refusing help from others, but about recognizing that the ultimate duty for our actions, responses, and personal growth lies within us. In Stoicism, focusing on what is within our control is essential. Aurelius often reflected on the power of the individual to face any challenge life presents. By trusting ourselves, we tap into our inner resilience and strength. This principle teaches us to have faith in our own capacity to navigate life's uncertainties and hardships. It is about building confidence, not through arrogance, but through competence and a deep understanding of our own abilities and virtues. Such self-reliance is both empowering and demanding in today's interconnected world, where opinions and advice are constantly within reach. Learning to listen to our inner voice can be difficult, yet Stoicism guides us to filter out the noise and trust our own reason and judgment. Aurelius held that this internal guidance was the most reliable counsel one could have, because it is rooted in reason and virtue. By trusting ourselves, we also cultivate autonomy in our decision-making, allowing us to make choices aligned with our values and principles, rather than being swayed by external pressures or passing emotions. This autonomy is vital for maintaining personal integrity and for living a life that is authentic to who we are. So, how can we truly begin to trust ourselves? Start with small steps. Make commitments and keep them. Set personal goals and work toward them independently. And take time to reflect on whether our decisions match our core values. Over time, these practices strengthen our self-discipline, making us more resilient and grounded when facing life's challenges. Marcus Aurelius continually emphasized the power of persistence, of showing up not just in body, but in spirit each day. This practice is not about monumental efforts unleashed sporadically, but about the quiet, steady dedication to daily tasks, which together forge a disciplined life. For Aurelius, showing up each day reflected the Stoic ideal of living in accordance with nature. To him, nature demanded that we not merely exist, but actively engage in life and contribute to the world through our actions, no matter how small or routine they might seem. Each day presented a new arena, not for grand battles, but to test our commitment to our principles and duties. It is in consistency, in daily effort, that character is both built and proven. In a world filled with constant distractions and fleeting motivation, the simple act of showing up every day carries profound weight. It is common to feel inspired one moment and completely adrift the next. This is where the value of consistency becomes essential. True discipline is cultivated not through bursts of intensity, but through the regularity of our efforts. This does not require every day to be a masterpiece of productivity, but it does ask that no day passes unnoticed or unused. Whether we are advancing our careers, improving our health, or deepening our relationships, progress in any field depends on the straightforward, often overlooked commitment of showing up daily. Showing up each day is deeply connected to the practice of mindfulness, being fully present in the now, and doing today's work without carrying the weight of past failures or future anxieties. This focus on the present transforms routine into ritual and effort into genuine improvement. To build this discipline, start with something small. Decide what showing up means for you. It could be writing a single paragraph of the book you've been meaning to write, completing a 5-minute exercise, or spending 10 uninterrupted minutes with someone you love. What transforms us is not the scale of the action, but the act of showing up itself. Each day you honor your commitment. You reinforce your willpower and build the resilience that defines a steadfast character. By embracing this daily practice, you embody the belief in personal responsibility and continuous growth. You become a living example of the idea that while we cannot control outcomes, we can always control our efforts. Through the consistent act of showing up, we find the discipline necessary to live a purposeful and fulfilling life. This practice is about much more than making life intentionally difficult. It is about preparing for life's uncertainties, strengthening resilience, and deepening appreciation for what we have. Experiencing voluntary discomfort helps fortify the mind for moments when life imposes hardship. This could mean choosing to go without certain luxuries, facing physical challenges, or simply practicing moderation in small daily choices. The logic is clear. If you are accustomed to adversity, unexpected difficulties will not throw you off balance. You are, in a sense, training your resilience muscles, ensuring you can meet life's challenges with a calm and composed mind. Why embrace discomfort in a world that constantly strives to offer us comfort? The answer lies in the nature of growth, which often happens at the edges of our comfort zones. By willingly stepping into less comfortable spaces, we not only test our mental and emotional limits, but also expand them. This practice is not about self-punishment, but about shifting perspective, seeing comfort not as a necessity, but as a luxury we can choose to live without. Through voluntary adversity, we also cultivate gratitude. It is easy to take everyday comforts for granted, but when we occasionally live without them, we begin to appreciate them more deeply. This could be as simple as skipping a meal, which can heighten your appreciation for the food you have, or choosing to walk instead of drive, deepening your gratitude for mobility and health. Voluntary discomfort connects us with the reality that many people involuntarily face adversity every day. This link can build empathy, humility, and a deeper understanding of the human condition, grounding us more firmly in the reality of the world we share. So, how can we integrate this practice into our lives? Start small. Choose something manageable. Perhaps waking an hour earlier than usual, limiting technology use for a day, or taking the stairs instead of the elevator. The key is not the scale of the discomfort, but the regularity and intention behind it. Each act of voluntary hardship is a step toward greater mental strength and self-discipline. This philosophy distinguishes between what is and is not within our control, urging us to focus our energy only on the former. This seemingly simple idea can profoundly transform how we approach life's challenges, reducing anxiety and fostering a greater sense of peace and resilience. So, what exactly is within our control? According to this school of thought, it is primarily our own actions, reactions, and judgments, our thoughts, our will, our responses. These are the domains where we have agency. Everything external, whether the weather, the actions of others, or global events, lies outside our direct control. The core teaching is that becoming upset or disturbed by things beyond our control is not only useless, but counterproductive to our well-being. Practicing this dichotomy of control begins with this realization. While we can influence external events, we cannot control them entirely. The practitioner learns to accept this fact, not passively, but as a liberating truth. By focusing on our own actions and releasing our attachment to outcomes, we can maintain our composure and effectiveness, regardless of circumstances. This does not mean becoming indifferent or detached from the world. On the contrary, it allows us to engage with it more constructively, channeling our efforts where they can actually make a difference. In daily life, applying this principle means asking ourselves, is this within my control, before reacting to any situation? If it is not, the practice is to let it go and move forward. This, of course, is easier said than done. It requires practice, mindfulness, and the occasional reminder of what truly lies within our sphere of influence. Furthermore, this practice has practical implications for how we set goals and manage expectations. While we strive to achieve our aims, tying our happiness or self-worth to the attainment of outcomes determined by multiple external factors sets us up for frustration. Instead, this philosophy teaches us to find satisfaction in the pursuit itself, in our adherence to our values, and in the effort we put forth. Its proponents did not promise a life without challenges. Instead, they offered a strategy for maintaining inner peace and dignity, regardless of life's ups and downs. By practicing this principle, we not only improve our own lives, but can also influence those around us through our example of calm and resilience in the face of life's inevitable uncertainties. This concept implies a deep understanding of personal responsibility and a commitment to self-mastery. Rather than succumbing to a victim mentality, where one sees oneself as a passive recipient of life's hardships, this mindset encourages us to take control of our perceptions and reactions. This empowerment is central to the belief that our happiness and peace of mind are determined more by our internal state than by external events. The idea is not to deny the hardships or injustices one might face, but to shift focus from what happens to us to how we respond to what happens. The underlying belief is that every external event presents a choice. How will we allow this to define us? By refusing to play the role of the victim, we reject the notion that our emotional well-being is at the mercy of external circumstances. This is a liberating realization that opens the door to greater personal growth and resilience. By applying this core idea, we start by examining our automatic reactions to difficult circumstances. Do we instinctively look for external factors or other people to blame? Do we expend our energy lamenting the situation rather than dealing with it directly? Altering these habits is not about suppressing our emotions, but about understanding them more thoroughly and redirecting our efforts in a more productive manner. It involves acknowledging our pains and disappointments while simultaneously recognizing our inherent ability to move forward in spite of them. Furthermore, this approach encourages us to view every impediment as a chance to exercise virtue and build our inner strength. This outlook is fundamentally proactive and empowering. It converts potential feelings of helplessness into moments of deliberate choice, where we can assert our autonomy. Each difficulty becomes a test of our dedication to our principles and an occasion to demonstrate qualities like fortitude, persistence, and resilience. By refusing to adopt a victim mentality, we embody the ideal of emotional self-reliance. We cultivate an inner stability of calm and balance from which we can engage with the world more completely and freely. This does not mean becoming emotionally detached or cold, but rather achieving a state where our well-being is not easily shaken by life's inevitable fluctuations. In this way, we live not at the mercy of our circumstances, but in accordance with our deepest convictions, regardless of what life presents. Mastering our impulses through the deferral of gratification is not about denying pleasure, but about attaining a higher form of fulfillment aligned with our long-term values and objectives. In this sense, such deferral involves a strategic postponement of immediate desires to secure more meaningful and enduring rewards. It is about making choices that, while they may not provide instant satisfaction, lead to lasting well-being and personal growth. This principle is especially pertinent in our modern culture of instant everything, where the ability to wait and choose a better outcome is a rare and valuable skill. The practice of delayed gratification is also about maintaining sovereignty over one's own desires. Being enslaved to fleeting pleasures can lead to a loss of freedom, as one becomes captive to whims and impulses. Conversely, by exercising moderation and choosing our actions based on reason and foresight, we cultivate a life characterized not by temporary delights, but by enduring tranquility and contentment. Implementing this deferred gratification in daily life can begin with simple habits. It might mean saving money instead of spending it on an impulse, choosing a nutritious meal over fast food, or dedicating time to study or practice a skill instead of opting for immediate leisure. Each such choice reinforces the practice of prioritizing long-term benefits over short-term ease or pleasure. Moreover, the benefits of this discipline are wide-ranging. Psychological research supports this view, linking the ability to delay gratification to better outcomes in career, education, health, and personal relationships. Individuals who can postpone immediate satisfaction are typically better at managing stress, achieving their goals, and leading healthier, more fulfilling lives. This concept extends beyond merely ignoring negative feedback. It is about developing a mental resilience that allows you to stand firm in your convictions and remain focused on your aims, even in the face of doubt and skepticism from others. The approval or disapproval of others lies outside our direct control, and therefore should not be the foundation for our personal validation or guidance. True peace comes from within and cannot be unsettled by external judgments. This philosophical indifference is not about being dismissive of others, but about preserving an internal locus of control. It encourages us to filter out the noise that does not serve our higher purposes or align with our core values. From a practical standpoint, dismissing critics is essential in our modern reality, where opinions are plentiful and criticism is often just a click away. This involves recognizing that while constructive feedback can be valuable for growth, baseless criticism should not divert us from our path. Making that distinction is crucial. Stoic thought encourages us to assess the source and intention behind the critique we receive. Is it informed? Is it well-meaning? Does it align with our core values? Furthermore, applying this principle means building a personal philosophy sturdy enough to withstand external pressures. It is about being confident in your decisions and actions, not out of arrogance, but from a deep understanding of your own values and goals. This daily practice strengthens our emotional resilience, making us less reactive to negative opinions and more focused on our long-term vision. In a culture that often emphasizes the cycle of social validation, the ability to step out of that cycle and remain true to oneself is both rare and powerful. By embracing the practice of ignoring detractors, we not only protect our mental space, but also actively choose where to invest our emotional energy. It is about not letting external noise distract us from our internal dialogue, which truly shapes our lives. This idea is rooted in the belief that much of our learning and personal development comes from observing and reflecting on the lives of those who have mastered the virtues we aspire to develop. Emulating wise individuals is not about copying them, but about learning from their example to refine our own character and judgment. In the context of Stoicism, choosing whom to emulate means recognizing those who embody the Stoic virtues of wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance. These could be historical figures, contemporaries, or even characters from stories and literature who demonstrate qualities like resilience, ethical integrity, and rational thinking. The key is to seek individuals whose lives provide a roadmap for facing challenges with grace and determination. Applying this today involves a thoughtful selection of role models whose values align with our aspirations. It is not merely admiration, but a critical observation of how these people navigate their lives, make decisions, and handle adversity. This practice encourages us to ask, which aspect of this person's approach or mindset can I incorporate into my own life to improve my conduct and choices? Moreover, emulating wise individuals helps bridge the gap between abstract philosophical concepts and everyday actions. It provides a concrete example of how Stoic virtues can be lived. This not only makes these ideals more accessible, but also more compelling, as we see the tangible impact of such virtues in the lives of those we respect. By seeking out and learning from wise figures, we engage in a dynamic form of personal growth. It is a proactive approach to self-development that reinforces our commitment to growth and excellence. By surrounding ourselves with the influence of virtuous individuals, we set a high standard for our own behavior and decisions, pushing us to become the wise persons we aspire to emulate. This practice goes beyond simply listing the day's events. It involves a deep, thoughtful examination of our thoughts, actions, and responses throughout the day. The core is to discern whether our conduct aligned with our core values and virtues, such as wisdom, justice, courage, and moderation. This introspective process is essential because it creates a feedback loop, heightening our awareness of our own actions and choices. The aim of this daily review is not to dwell on mistakes or engage in harsh self-judgment, but to observe and adjust. It is about learning from each day's experiences and using that insight to continuously refine our character. Historical figures employed this method to ensure they were not only performing their duties, but also growing as individuals. Integrating this practice into modern life can be profoundly beneficial. It encourages us to end each day with a period of quiet reflection. During this time, you can ask yourself key questions. How did I respond to today's challenges? Did I act in harmony with my principles? What could I have done better? Were there moments I lost my composure, and what triggered them? Contemplating these questions cultivates greater self-awareness and steers you toward living a more deliberate and intentional life. Furthermore, this practice can nurture a sense of peace and closure each evening. It allows you to address unresolved thoughts or stresses, confronting them directly instead of carrying them into the next day. This is particularly powerful in our fast-paced world, where it is easy to lose sight of deeper goals amidst daily distractions and pressures. By honestly reviewing your day, you engage in a form of personal accountability that is both gentle and rigorous. It involves acknowledging your strengths and recognizing areas for growth without self-recrimination. This habit builds resilience and wisdom, teaching you to be both the student and the teacher on your life's journey. You learn constantly from your own experiences and strive to embody the virtues you hold dear. Over time, this practice can transform not just how you perceive your days, but how you live your life, bringing you into closer alignment with the ideals you value. Thank you for joining this exploration into enduring wisdom. Remember, each day is a new step towards self-mastery, embracing the virtues that define a life well lived. If you wish to explore further, consider viewing one of the suggested videos on your screen. Your presence enriches our community, and we are grateful for it. Until next time, continue to live with intention and wisdom.